Broadcasting Network. I'm here with my special guest, Dr. Tameka Bryant. And before we went to commercial break, we were just talking a little bit about how she got into real estate, how she started her brokerage, opened multiple offices, not only nationally, but internationally as well. So that guides us kind of into our next segment. What made you decide to start developing internationally? Or maybe you should tell us how you got into being a developer.
Basically, I had to, it was kind of a few things were happening at the same time when I made that decision. So, a big piece of it was that I was already working with developers
Okay.
and I was helping them build out their projects.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just made more sense that I moved into that space because once you start seeing and doing the actual work, then why not?
Right.
So I was already doing going to the city meetings and doing the politicking and all of that kind of stuff. So why not
Politricky?
just do, yeah, the politics.
Okay. We'll talk more about that later.
You guys know what that is, right? It's
I hope so.
yeah, it's the politics. And so I was already doing a lot of that. And so once you do that much of the process, so you got to understand, I'm doing financing,
Okay.
I'm doing the sales.
Okay.
And it was one day I created this program. And it was you could buy your house and get the car at the same time. And I had partnered with Mercedes Benz in order to make this happen. So
Okay.
the developer I was working with was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this. And then I was going, well, if I'm doing all of this, can come up with marketing programs, I'm surveying, I'm doing all this extra work, I need to get a bigger piece of the pie
I heard
because
that.
I'm in a space where I can figure all of this out. And at the same time, during this time, I was training for the National Association of Realtors on two particular classes that I really loved, but one of them was on building housing opportunities
Wow.
and creating housing opportunities. And what that course that I was going around and teaching real estate professionals about, and
Mm-hmm.
this was now, guys, this is like 18 years ago or something. It was telling us then where we are now. And it was saying that there's not going to be enough affordable housing in any major city.
Wow.
And it told us that 18 years ago. So
And we're
I was
literally hearing the
training
same thing
and
today.
right. And I have this in the back of my head and I'm going, so if there's not going to be enough affordable housing for first time homeowners, then there's not going to be enough affordable properties for first time investors either.
Right? Okay. Okay. I see where we're going with
Okay.
this.
You see where we're going? We see
Yes.
where we're going. But the biggest challenge for me at the time, when I decided I wanted to do it, was that I was still mom at home.
Wow.
And when you have to put those kind of hours in, because the other thing I knew is that it wasn't necessarily going to happen in this country. I was going to have to look at other countries,
Mm.
as well, because to build in other countries is cheaper
Okay.
than what I could build here for the entry level investor.
Wow. That's amazing. So I know you have, you have many things going on. You have lifestyle brand. I'm actually representing today. I wear my Black Beach Bum
Yeah,
T-shirt.
actually, and you know what, Latoya, that's
Uh-huh.
that's actually the kids that's their brand, that's
Oh,
their company.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
the
Well, give it up
and
for
I
the kids.
yeah, and I'm calling them kids. They're 28 and 24, but they're
Okay.
always going to be kids to me,
Always
right?
gonna be your babies. I tell mine the same
Right.
thing. I don't care if they're 75. They still gonna be my babies.
So yeah, so I'm a part of their company,
Okay.
but I'm a part of it.
All
But
right.
yes, so thank you for the support, Black
Yes.
Beach Bum,
Yes.
and that I kind of came up with the name though because
Okay.
it was the tagline I came up with first was relax and invest because I just really believe people should decide when they want to retire
Right.
and not have to work a hard life for 75 years
Mm-hmm.
and then decide, okay, I can relax a little. Like my thing was like, hey, I want to be retired at 40 or 50 years old.
Right.
And then, my thing was I'm going to retire at 40 and then I'm going to let my investments take care of me.
Okay.
Okay. Because I I married my husband and he was a little older. And I was like, well, when he goes to retire, I want to be retired too.
I heard
Like, I don't
that.
want to be
We're doing
working.
this together.
I want to do what I want to do. So actually, I retired twice
Okay.
because the first time I retired, I didn't realize that I couldn't sit in and do nothing. So I
Okay.
started
That makes sense.
making a whole bunch of messes in the house, and I put a hole in the ceiling one day, and he came in and he's like, no, you're gonna have to find something to do. This is not gonna work. And that's when I started doing more coaching and things like that for small businesses and real estate brokers and stuff like that. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Now let me tell y'all, I've gone through a coaching program a couple of times. I'm probably one of her more hard-headed ones, but I do make some moves. But let me tell y'all, she is that 6 and 7 figure business coach. She got it for you. So if you're lucky enough to get into that season to where she will coach you, if you qualify, you'll be definitely in for a treat, and it is worth its weight in gold. I tell you that much. So Auntie, we were talking about doing some international development. So,
Hmm.
where are you developing? I know already, but where are you developing right now?
Right now, I have a couple of projects in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and the first project I envisioned, and again, I'm going from the eyes of the investor.
Mm-hmm.
So the first community I planned out, it has um, 2 and 3 bedroom
Okay.
homes.
Okay.
There are duplexes, fourplexes, and sixplexes on the outskirts. So
Okay.
it's, variety, but also with the investor in mind.
Right.
And I put that out there, and in 60 days, we sold out of every 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom
Wow.
duplex in 60 days. Before we could even get the plans approved,
Right.
we were sold out of all of those individual units. And that's when I said to myself, I better go find some more property quick.
Yes.
While I was in the Dominican Republic, and while they're in that particular area, Punta Cana, with it being a high tourist area,
Mm-hmm.
you just can't get enough properties up because you have Airbnbs and everybody else. There's everybody's going there for the beaches.
Yep.
They're building a second airport and all those other things. And so that's why we decided to go there, stick it out for some
Okay.
time. And next, we just cleared some land in Ghana.
Oh, okay. Ghana,
um
huh?
in yeah, in Ghana.
Wow. Going to the other
Uh,
end of the earth.
that's right. That's right. And excuse me, Ghana was actually supposed to be first, but the parameters that I require for my co-developers and partners, they didn't meet those right then, but they're ready now, and so they've been clearing the land for that one. They're also
Wow.
clearing the land for some beachfront, so they found the second location already. We have
Wow.
plans to also be in Guyana, not just Ghana, but
Okay.
Guyana as well. So we're doing the visits there. That probably won't happen as next year as quickly as Ghana and what we're doing in there. But we
Okay.
select countries based on, our investors go in?
Mm-hmm.
And I always keep the little investor in mind because I always think of me.
Yes.
So I always have to have an entry point that somebody like me, when I was working my 9 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
could afford to go into. Because now, if you guys look at it, where are you going to find a 3 bedroom or a 2 bedroom or any kind of property for 150,000?
There's some
New
sheds
construction,
available.
new construction that you can Airbnb, and then also not have the restrictions that I started seeing happening over the last 15 years for investors.
Yes.
So in Kansas City, there was a whole lot of red tape they started adding for registrations for if you were out of
Wow.
state investor, and paying to register properties and things like that.
I
And
think
all
I
the
had
way
to do that.
to this day, when I look at Atlanta and Atlanta says, hey, you guys can't have more than 2 Airbnbs. You as an investor cannot own more than 2 Airbnbs.
Wow.
Guys, for the investors who are out there, how is this a free country? And then you tell me I can't make as much money if I have the money and I'm taking care
Right.
of my properties. You're still going to cap me on 2 properties?
Yeah, see, I don't like to be told that I can't make money. That's
No,
just,
I mean, I
it's
need
not
at least
fair.
5 doors to be a millionaire. Like, I'm like, the way I build stuff for the new investor is that if we can get five
Oh, sorry.
doors for the new investor, you can retire a millionaire. It doesn't require a whole lot. I mean, you can do it in less doors if you get a different kind of property, but for
Right.
the average investor who needs to add a door and they don't have a whole lot of money to say, "Oh, I've got a couple of million, I can just dump it in there."
Wow.
But, and if you can't even do that in a market that, like in Atlanta and some of these other things.
Right.
So again, I seen this coming
Mm-hmm.
from,
You are a
years
true
ago.
forecaster because she be telling us
Yes.
stuff, and a lot of us don't listen. And then she be like, "I told you so. I've already made my million. Next thing, next project."
And that's what I do. I said, remember when I told you guys this is what's going to happen in 2
Mm-hmm.
years? And folks don't listen and some do, but I just keep on going because people have to hear it when they hear it.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
so for me, I'm just going to keep moving and keep doing what I'm doing. And folks will make their own decisions. But what we do know when you look at all the stats is
Mm-hmm.
that the majority of, Americans who are out there don't have enough in retirement now to retire.
Definitely
Three out of
not.
four women will retire broke. There's,
Hurts my heart.
when you just start really looking at the real numbers,
Mm-hmm.
um, so it's really going to be it's already the haves and the have nots, right? So that gap
Right.
is just getting wider and wider. So for those who are not ready and don't want to invest, then, the 2020 special said it the best when they said there was a hedge fund owner got on there and he said, pretty much you're going to rent the American dream,
Wow. That's
you know.
that is just painful right
And
there.
so, yeah, and I'm just an advocate of forget what they said. For those who want to rock and roll, let's go.
Let's do
And
it.
for those, that's right. And for those who don't, we'll see you later. And I have a great one of my things I always say: somebody's got to be on fries
Right.
when I go through the drive-through because so I'm not condemning anybody on any of the choices that they make, but I'm a poor little girl from the Bronx
Mm-hmm.
who built her portfolio, built her wealth, families building, my kids are building their portfolios on real estate. You got to have
Yep.
that a part of your portfolio. And real
I think that's
estate
the most
needs,
important piece
oh my
right there.
gosh, it is the
Yep.
most important piece. It's like one of those things I tell people I can put insurance on a sixplex.
Mm.
I may not be able to put insurance on that IRA, but I can put insurance on that sixplex.
That's
So I'm
right.
typically I'll go buy that, $600,000 sixplex, before I put $600,000 in cash over in that IRA,
Okay.
So, because I know I can get an insurance policy on that one.
Right. At least protect your investment. Now, I know you always talk to us about that. You tell us, you got to build it and you got to protect it so that,
That's right.
most of us focus on just building it. And then we look up and, oh, whose name is that on my title? That's not me. That's my place.
Right. And you got to protect the wealth for the future generation, right? So that
That's
means you got to
right.
get them involved as well so that they know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I invest with I say my kids with my young adult children
Okay.
as well, so that they're a part of the process, so that they understand what this is.
That's
So
great.
and that's why I'm always busy and I'm always,
Yeah.
on the go
Always on the
because
move.
always on the move or whatever, and I'm always near someone's beach or at the beach,
Mm-hmm.
or because I love instruction and I love teaching and I love breaking down complicated concepts and things like that to a simple form so that more people can access it,
Yeah, and so
you
we can
know?
grasp it a little better. So you touched on teaching at the beach. Well, I know you came up with this conference, and we'll talk about that when we come back from the next commercial break. So hold that thought. We'll be back in a couple minutes.